This conference will now be recorded.
Who did? Keeping on the door, that's all. I'm just calling it. You ready? Okay. I'd like to call this meeting to order, the regular meeting of the Lovington Parks and Recreation Committee. We do a roll call. No? Okay. And then we don't have an agenda.
We still have to do, you still have to do.
Here you have a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion. Second.
And then I have a motion to consider the minutes of May 26, 2021.
Motion to consider minutes, 26 and 2021. I did provide them, if you guys want to let them know. I did.
Have a motion and a second.
I'll second it.
All eyes.
All ayes.
Or those who approve. Those are in favor. Yeah, those in favor. Basically just say all eyes.
All right.
Aye.
Okay, motion's approved. This leads us to public comment. Any public comment? Yeah.
No.
No? Okay. So non-action items, we're just gonna do Parks and Rec update. Okay, I gave you a little outline, so I was reading. Baseball, softball fields. We have a total of $250,000 for the new LED lighting that's gonna be installed. We decided to go with LED lighting at the baseball field as well because we needed a new transformer out there, and Lee County Electric wanted us to decide what size we needed to carry the load for either the halogen or the LED. So we just decided to go all new. And that money, $100,000 was from the Maddox Foundation, $150,000 from the county. We did run an RFP process through procurement to get bids for the lights, didn't receive anything. So we decided to go with the CES contract, and that's Kirkmeyer Electric of Hobbs. So they said we'll need a lighting engineer to come out and look at everything and lay out the plan for them before we can move forward. So we're waiting on that. Pettigrew Associates is working on that for us. So questions, comments, anything?
Well, it doesn't matter if you'd like, I mean, even though you're waiting for all that, what's the timeline that this would be next year?
We're looking at
This year
April,
we wanted.
May. We're really pushing hard, and
I don't think it was gonna take Pettigrew long to get the
No.
engineering done.
No, he
Because
knows.
that's pretty simple,
He
basically.
knows the guy, and he's just gotta go out there and say, this light puts out this much, it has to be this far apart, and then look at the poles and see which one has to be replaced. And so, I mean, it should be ready to go by April. At least by game time, maybe work on it during practice. And then the transformer came in also, so it's ready to put in whenever. I don't know if did they put the transformer in yet out there? They're just waiting on-
Contacted me yet.
Okay.
I believe we probably gonna have to pour a concrete slab,
Mhm.
and so once we do that, then
Right.
they'll probably install it, because they're thinking about changing it from where it is to somewhere else. They're thinking right now,
Mhm.
they're not sure, but we're supposed to go take a look at all of that.
Okay,
And that's a great idea, because I was gonna say that transformer, kids would jump on it and play on it all the time and get it and move somewhere else is a great idea. So I think that would be something to look into for sure.
okay.
Yeah, maybe do the concrete pad, put a little fence around it, and to keep kids off of it.
Mhm. Any other questions or anything on the LED lights? Did I forget anything from there? No? All righty. Okay, our problem child, Chaparral Park. We are working with SWAT IT Solutions for a camera surveillance system. When they get for all that, they'll let us know. And go from there. Anything else on that?
I've heard nothing back on Nick from SWAT, but the system is kind of basically gonna copy Hobbs, so to speak-ish.
The Del Norte one?
Yeah, well, they got an eye in the sky so they can control all their buildings, parks, et cetera. So we're gonna start with Chaparral and then hopefully branch off into like all the small parks and baseball fields, softball fields. So that way, you know, everything is all secured.
Perfect. Okay. And then, I feel like we should start locking the restrooms every day, like 5 when they leave. Do you guys agree with that?
And they open up at what time?
We'll open them up at 6 when we come in and then we can shut them down at 5 when we leave.
What's the activity, like some people go walk out there early in the morning, what's the activity there?
We get anywhere from kids smoking in there to homeless
We
going
have
in
the seats
there.
broken off the wall.
Yeah,
vandalism.
it's bad.
Vandalism at the bathrooms has been
It's-
outrageous.
Horrendous. And I'd also like to talk to Chief Miranda about having an officer during the high school lunch hour at Chaparral.
Yeah, on my way over here, I just had some guy go 90 miles an hour down through the straightaway
Okay.
in the middle of Chaparral, so.
In the restroom.
So maybe after school too, like the hour after school.
Yeah,
I
anywhere,
think it just needs to be, especially in the evenings. I know they get into those burnout competitions out there at the park late at night.
they're going out in the grass, they're doing donuts in the grass, they're just tearing everything up. They're pulling the parking post out, and it's gonna be a liability.
Have you figured out anything to replace those parking posts?
We tried, me and Bernardo tried, but they just go right behind us and then start
Okay.
yanking back out.
So when they dug out the big leach pit over here for the new drainage, were there any big rocks that maybe we could?
Oh, they've already crushed all them.
They did. Okay.
What if we get bigger speed bumps?
Just make the whole thing.
You've gone to the high school, those things are.
Oh, I know. And they actually slowed down there, it kind of slowed off the
Yeah.
accidents in the parking lot, because the speed bumps are a lot higher. I think the ones
They
in
are.
here are not.
No, they're just those ones that were staked down, so they're not concrete.
May I suggest something on that? Now, I don't know how the funding is, but possibly if we try to eliminate some of that, maybe putting in a little fencing or around back there. I would say maybe 3 feet and where entrances, so we can go,
Like the pole park.
yeah, kind of, sort of, but smarter.
Okay.
I don't know how long that one will last, but I mean, this, again, it's just a suggestion. It would look nice even if it's just chain link,
Mhm.
something that wouldn't be too expensive. But then again, to keep from a vehicle going in there and falling into the pond or something like that. But I do not know how we're doing on funds or whether it be possible, something like that.
Or even a pole fence, something with the top rail, something with the middle rail, something like that, maybe 2, 3, like you were saying.
Can you call a few people and get 2 or 3 quotes on something like that and just let us know? And
Yep.
I'll talk to him about it. Okay.
On all the restrooms, are they still porcelain
Yes,
sinks and toilets?
yes.
Have you checked the price difference when you have to replace them to go to the stainless steel or the metal ones?
The problem with the stainless steel, I haven't really recently checked it for the updated stainless steel, but I know back when, it was hard to get parts for them, with the toilet and the sink. So that's why I think they switched to porcelain because it's a little easier to get.
Yeah, because we could go down and buy them at Home Depot and.
Yeah.
But they're right, too, so.
And last year, we went ahead and replaced all the broken stall parts, toilets, sinks, anything that was broken, we went in there, repainted it, put new toilet paper holders, sanitizing, foam and soap, and then destroyed it all. Yeah, it was about, $500, $600, $700 worth of stuff that they broke.
I know originally back, it's been a while, probably a year or 2 ago, they thought we were gonna install locks that are automatic, so like it was on a timer. or did we ever do that?
Yeah, they did, and they broke it. To replace each lock is like $500, $600, $700 per lock. So,
Yes, that got it, because they did do those. Because I know that's something that came through and we're like, well, if
It's almost
you
just like having.
can't be there, I mean, at least,
Yeah.
you know, 4 AM, it opens up, at a certain time it locks up, but if they're destroying that
Well,
too.
well, I do have guys that do rounds on the weekends, so on the weekends, they're gonna have to go back and lock it up.
I know at the day park, they had a homeless guy that he would go in, wait for it to lock, and then come out and prop it open so he could go in and out.
I just hate the hours only being till 5, because, you know, it is gonna start staying light longer, and you do have people that are actually out there walking and using
Well,
the
at least
trail.
until we get the camera system, just something until we get that, because they just keep breaking
Oh, yeah.
everything.
But it is a new protocol for what Carlsbad and, you know, the surrounding cities are doing because of the homeless people and
Yes.
vandalism is just rising every year. So,
Yeah, it's just, what do you do? Y'all need officers. Okay, you want to give us an update on your trash pickup sweep walkthrough?
we did a trash pickup sweep, last week. We collected 10 bags of just loose debris that's just been blown in. Or
Do you think a lot of that's from the convenience center?
It's a combination of it just blowing in from the town, the convenience center, you know, people not putting trash where they're supposed to be. It's just an ongoing thing.
Other people's trash.
Yeah.
With these winds, I'm sure it ends up in someone else's yard, so.
Okay. So are we looking at doing that like monthly or every?
I would like to start a program, maybe, you know, 4 or 5 every 6 months, just getting some volunteers and maybe we can do a community thing, bring the community out there and just kind of scan over the park.
Okay.
What's your plans for the gophers?
I checked with Fish and Game to see if we could trap them, and we can trap them, so,
Yeah, you just can't kill them. You can't kill them no more.
Well, if you watch Caddyshack, you can't kill them anyway.
But yeah.
but yeah, we could start trapping them next winter because of the cold. You know, they're more active during the winter times than they
Well, I
are.
noticed we drove, on the backside of it the other day, and you can see mountains right?
Yeah. And I did find one of my tractor, it's like a box leveler for the tractor, so we can go behind and start leveling off all the gopher holes and it'll fill in all the dead holes. And so we can do that different, you know, in between winter to winter. So,
So, we were talking about your grass seed quote. Before you do that, what do you think about renting like the aerator pluggers that you drive around?
I have one.
Okay, do that. Can we try that first?
Yeah,
See if
yeah.
we can activate that Bermuda.
Yeah,
You
know,
just
we're-
Usually do it every year, don't we? In springtime, don't you do that?
since I've been with the Park and Rec Department, it hasn't been done.
Oh.
But I would like to get that up and going and, you know, it'd be useful for the grass.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
we've been trying to do that, but the ground's a little bit hard right now. Got to get some water on it, which brings it back to the sprinkler system. It is up and running. But we're having a slight issue with the automatic side of things. I called Harmer out there. They met me yesterday. They couldn't figure it out. Something with the PLC program getting a little old. So we're dealing with that one. But we can turn it on manually. So I can go out there at 9 o'clock at night and turn it on, and then we'll come in the morning. We'll turn it off at 10, 11 o'clock in the afternoon. So.
Do you want to get a couple quotes for new box field seed program?
I'm trying
Okay.
on that one.
Anything else on Chaparral Pond?
When are you guys gonna start watering?
I'm gonna flip it on starting tonight, so it's gonna be, we're gonna start watering from here on out soon, if the weather holds up.
Okay, and then, under all the parks, Jason and Dr. Martinez submitted a proposal schematics for new playgrounds at each park. This one is like a list kind of, to let you know about what one would cost. This one is a photo and a layout. You want to tell us about your playground, what the base of them are, and
So pretty much, Avenue D, Pope, Birch, and Martin Luther King, they're all gonna get new playground equipment. They're gonna tear out the old, put in new, but instead of putting wood chips down or shredded rubber, they're gonna pour, place and pour, as they call it. It's just a rubber solid mat, and it's gonna last.
A lot better than all that other does, yeah, it does.
And it's a good weed barrier. That's what all the elementary schools are going to, and, that, and it'll give it a modern day feel. For the Chaparral Park, they're gonna replace our old equipment that's been breaking, and, they'll replace that, and then go ahead and put a shredded rubber in there. So it'll hold up against the wind.
and then, Splash Pad, the company will come March 13th and 14th to evaluate. Still, as far as you guys know? And then
It's been off for 2 years, right?
Yeah,
we couldn't get parts.
from me and Bernardo's understanding, it's just Band-Aids on top of Band-Aids on top of Band-Aids. So it's easier for someone to come in there and clean up all the Band-Aids. And
Revamp it.
yeah, pretty much.
Can you give an update on the pool, Bernardo? I know that company was gonna come see you. Did they come, the one that was coming January, February, or?
Yes, I did get a quote for that, and I did turn it in to Mr. Martinez. It was over $600,000.
They just keep breaking everything.
That's without the last two break-ins that they had. So the band that came over, he says it's gonna be over $600,000, and I did get the quote. Again, I did give it to Mr. Martinez. And he said, if you guys are planning on fixing that, he said, we need to begin, he says, as early as January. He said, because if you do not call me to start there, he says, I will not be able to get to you. He said, you need to understand that I take care of Midland, Artesia, Hobbs, Portales, Clovis, all the way to Dallas. He says, so, but he says, and again, on the first one, he came by after the first vandalism. He said, just, I don't know, he says, add at least $30,000 to what I gave. And then they came back and did some more damage.
Right, and that was more electrical this last time. wasn't it?
Yes, they took out a whole bunch of,
Panels and everything.
yes, all the boxes. And that, what he gave me, the $600,000, was not counting no electrical. It's not, and not counting none of the, for the building. There was just strictly for the pool area, for the lining, for the pool, for the slide, for the pumps and all of that. No electrical IPS. They was trying to give us a quote and all of that, but then after I spoke with Mr. Martinez, he said, we don't have the money to do that. Because I told him, I said, if we're gonna do something, I need to reach out to him, because if I reach to him in March, I say he ain't coming over. I said, because they won't have enough time till the following year. I said, if we do that, I said, all of this is gonna go up. And the thing is, I reached out to Hobbs, I couldn't find nobody from Hobbs. Reached out to Artesia, nobody there. Carlsbad, nobody there. Even to Lubbock, and nobody wanted to come out here. This man that came over, he came from Albuquerque. And so he came about 2 or 3 times to make sure that he would give us the right quote for that. But he does have the quote.
You want me to tell you why nobody around here wants to come work on it? Because it's built over a huge cleach pit. That ground is not packed. The slide tower, the huge rock slide tower over there, the Starship Enterprise is cut and put in that hole. There's burn barrels from Caprock Copper Supply. that was not a good place to put that pool.
Well,
To me,
and
it's
then
unsafe.
could we visit with the hospital and see about through the summer at least, that them opening,
They have been.
did they have like a public swim time?
Yeah.
But I thought that was like only on Saturday.
No, so I've just transferred out. I was one of the managers over at the wellness center for the past 6 months that has been in the process. Last summer, they did do a family time throughout the week, day passes.
Oh, okay.
We could reach out to Lorna Jackson, she's the new manager over there, make sure that they're in process for it again. I could do that and update y'all next meeting.
That would be great.
What would it cost to build a new?
A new pool, yeah, somewhere else.
I did ask about that. We was talking about that and going back on the paperwork, that pool came over $1 million. And I'm thinking it was sometime built 2006 or something like that. So I asked him, I said, without giving me a quote, I said, just verbal estimate. I said, something same size, kind of equally to what we have. I said, how much are we looking at? It's about $3 million. So, it could be.
Yeah.
Oh,
So how do you guys feel? I read an article, a lot of bigger cities are getting rid of pools. They might have one, but they're going more towards the splash pads at the smaller parks. Do you guys think that would be?
I think at the Avenue D park, they should. put a
Deep
splash.
Polk, it's way back over there.
This one, because I know the kids actually come and park out at the Avenue D. That one's really utilized. So I think if anything, if the pool was an idea, I figured the pool would have been great to put it at the Avenue D park.
Well, it already has all the piping and water and everything. So that wouldn't be the cost to get in on this other one. They had to go far.
So would that, do you think they're just too hard to take care of, or you think that would be?
I know a while back,
In Mexico, if you want
Duke
to go.
came down, the guy who put in the splash pad at Chaparral. Me and Bernardo did ask him about like an aquatics playground, as they call it. And he said that it's probably like 2.5 million to put up.
Okay.
So,
But even just like the
Yeah.
splash pad size at just little hubs, like at each park, or not even each park, maybe 3 of them are.
but this is probably about the size of a pool, but
Exactly.
not the deepness
Kind of like
of
the
a
baby
pool.
side.
Yeah,
They
and
don't-
you'll have your, it's just like a playground, you have your small kid side and you have your
Bigger.
teenage kid size. So,
That side anyway. Okay, I don't have it on here, but Jason brought in a quote for the skate park lights for 10.5. Is that,
and what's going on with that is, last, I think before summer, I had, C&M come out to take a look at it because they weren't working. They found a short in between where the panel for the electricity is coming in to the skate park. Somewhere in between there's a short. So they gotta pull out all the old wiring, put in new wiring, and then change all the lights to LED.
and this includes the new lights as well. The 10.5.
Does that still-
Yes, yeah, that's everything.
Do we have money?
Yes. Okay, and then, okay, so anything else on parks, splash pads, pools, lights? Veterans Memorial Park. We have reached out to an architect, the one that won the RFP, it's MRWM in Albuquerque. He's come and visited with us and part of the memorial committee and just kind of heard us out, what we'd like to have, looked at their design, and just worked up kind of a little thumbprint over the property. And he thinks the lot is huge. So we're waiting on everyone to get back from session in Santa Fe to have a memorial committee meeting to see if they'd like to just use half lot, whole lot, quarter lot, what they want to do. And then when we get that, he can give us a more definite answer, and then that capital outlay fund can be obligated. We've had 2 times where we almost lost it, but we showed them we're working on it, that we have someone contracted. They reauthorized it this week for us, so it's safe. The money's still good. It was gonna run out June 30th for sure, even if they didn't pull it. So we're good. Once it's obligated, it's ours. So, that's where we're at on that right now. We're just
I
waiting
thought
on.
we already had it seemed like I remember them showing us the plan when they first started talking.
They had a plan that they wanted to do, but an architect was never a part of it. So now the architect's part of it. And he has to write the proposal with the prices for us to be able to obligate the funds through the COG.
Okay, I just remember seeing.
Yeah, it was like Lee County, and you walk through and you do this, you do that, and we're still looking at that. It's just, it's gotta go through that architect to be laid out properly, and where the lighting will be, and the electrical, and all that kind of stuff. And so once that company puts that bid together and says this much, then we can send it to Dora at the COG, and she can obligate it for us.
On that project, is the money that you got obligated for it, is it the full amount? Because I do know it used to be, it was phased. So is it still phased?
Yeah, we have 600,000 right now, and we're calling it phase 1. And then we'll go up to capital outlay again and ask again once we get that going. And the county's kind of thought about helping us a little here and there. And so once we get more going with him on this, then we'll just move forward from that. I just want you guys to let you know the money's safe, it's good, we're moving forward. So, and then anything else on that one? Yes, Mr. Kim.
What that, do you have any veterans on that committee?
Yes, sir.
You do?
It's a Lee County Veterans Committee. So it's not the city, it's Lee County Veterans.
Yeah, it's through the county.
And they do.
I just wondered, because since American Legion is the only veterans organization in town, we've never been contacted, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, it's a countywide committee that was elected.
Okay.
It was, I believe it was in place before the money was asked for, that they brought the plan and all that, and then the money was asked for. So, yeah, it's its own little entity, and we work with them for it. So, youth center update. We went through a tour Monday last week with the Boys and Girls Club of Hobbs. So they're writing up a proposal to either sell or rent lease. We're looking more like at rent lease, and run it for us. And, but we're just waiting on Mike to get that all together, and they're working with Maddox. So
That's a good idea.
that's the only answer I have for you on that, is we
Yeah.
looked at it and we're waiting on their answer. Yes, sir.
My suggestion would be if you decide to sell it, make sure it's in the contract that they keep it for the children,
Right.
not for something different.
Well, it would go to the Boys and Girls Club.
If they get rid of it or want to do something, if they want to sell it or something, then it should revert back to the city.
That's pretty much all of our contracts. Yeah.
I don't know if they did that building out there on the highway.
Also, everything we sell, if they don't use it for what it's stipulated for, it usually reverts back to the city.
Yep. Anybody else want to bring up anything? Yes, sir.
Yeah, on that one there, you can add in, if you could, the senior dance.
I believe if Boys and Girls Club take it over, we're gonna have to move everything to the senior center, because that's what it's for. It's the senior center. So we'll talk about it when we get there. It'll be a while,
Okay.
but we'll definitely look at all that. We've all talked about it. We were talking about it this morning. So we haven't forgotten you, but
How often are they doing those?
Twice a month.
And how has
The
it been
second-
going for you?
Huh?
How's it been going for you?
Very good. This last dance we had 54 people, and we've been averaging around between 25 and 30. And we have a potluck and everything else on. We have potluck, and we have a 6-piece live band that comes in for
and everyone 21 and over is invited.
21 and over can come. You don't have to be a senior to come to it. It's anybody 21 and over. It costs $5. And you get a ticket for a raffle in the middle.
What are you guys paying for the band and stuff like that? For what?
The $5 ticket fee.
That really?
The $5 that we take in, they get 75% of that.
Oh.
And, and then the other money to go to, we supply coffee, tea, and the water. And then we have the tables all decorated, which that cost. And we supply the silverware plates and all that. So it's been going very, very well.
Okay, anybody else? I know you came in late, Justin. Do you have anything?
Oh, I was just gonna ask about the lights at the baseball.
That was the first thing we covered.
Sorry.
You're fine. We didn't get an RFP
Yeah.
quote, so we're gonna go through Kirkmeyer Electric and Hobbs. And they have to have, because they're on a CES through the state, they have to have a lighting engineer plan laid out. So Pettigrew and Associates is putting that together for us. As soon as we have that, we're gonna give it to them. We have the new transformer in, it's just sitting there waiting for all that too. And we're still anticipating April, May. So that's where we're at, just waiting on the lighting. Anybody else? Y'all ready to adjourn? Okay. Let's adjourn.
Every other Monday night.
Every other Monday night? I can get together. No. Oh, yeah. Monday night. I don't want to be here every.
So see, you missed yesterday. So I've been